Stablecoins on
I would
Pulse
like
or
to. So originally, to get stability out of Pulse when it originally launches, you're going to need to use bridged-in stables. However, stablecoin creators tend to launch on multiple chains. So you've got USDT on Tether, or I'm sorry, you've got Tether, which is called
on
USDT, on TRX and on
uh-huh.
Matic and on Ethereum.
Yeah,
You've got it on a lot of different networks because what do they care? You know, it's new users for
exactly.
them. So I
Hmm.
would like to see, until I have the time to create my own stablecoin, I would like to see the existing stablecoin issuers support Pulse Chain when it launches. That'd be great because I think being able
Yeah.
to de-risk, particularly during a bear market, is nice.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much going on between, stables, all the drama with that, CBDCs, which is like a big drama.
CB,
And
yeah,
like
I
I
mean,
don't even know, like that's just a whole other rant, CBDCs. Like it's just everything that's
well, it's a
anti
scam. Like central
crypto. Yeah.
banks do not want you to have freedom, so don't think that they're going to do anything that gives it to you. It's really that simple. Like
Hmm.
they
Yeah.
don't care about your freedom at all, which is why you have less than you've ever had. You used to be able to buy a house for 25 grand. Try that
That's
now.
insane.
Like
That's insane.
it used to be
Like
cheaper. But
$1 million used to be generational wealth. I
yeah,
remember my grandmother telling me when I was little, oh, $1 million, you could pass that on. Like, what? $1 million isn't like it's still a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money anymore.
I hear people in chat like this bear market news is scaring out the weekends. Hey guys, let's do a thought experiment. Ready?
Ooh.
If you wanted the price to pump really hard on an asset and you knew there were some people that were going to sell, would you rather they sell lower or higher? Well, if they sell lower, they've lost their right to hurt the price later. And so if the person that they sell to has a longer time horizon, or is more likely to stake, or is more likely to stake for longer, or is such a whale, this is all game to them anyway, they might not ever need to sell anyway. Like Satoshi's never sold, at least not publicly. Um, you know, if someone wants to sell the bottom and hand their bag to someone that's better than they are, I think that's good for prices of things. So if a guy could have sold 20 times higher, so 95% drop is a 20x difference. So it takes 20x to make up a 95% drop. It takes 10x to make up a 90% drop. If someone wants to sell a 95% dump for pennies on the dollar, historically, products with product market fit, I mean, look, Amazon dropped 95% once. And after that,
Yeah.
it just basically went up forever. Ethereum dropped 95% once. Bitcoin's dropped 85% a bunch of times. I can't
Yes.
really think of a better risk reward than a dip in something that has product market fit and security.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Like, people are so intimidated by the market right now. I mean, you've basically seen the market since the beginning, the birth of the crypto
Yep.
market. And this is just something that no one should be afraid of right now. This
I've
is
been
just
telling
history.
everybody it's been written on the Hex website for 2.5 years. Crypto drops 85 and 95% relatively often, but those are
Yes.
opportunities. Now, not all crypto. Crypto with product market fit and security. I don't think Luna's getting back up. I don't think the rug pulls are getting back up. You know, it's you want to buy something good with a real
Yeah.
community.
Yes. And I feel like, things like this have to happen. People have to get wrecked in order. I acknowledge people got wrecked. It's not a good thing, but
I
these
got
things
wrecked when
need
I
to
got in,
happen.
but I held. I
You
went
held
down
exactly.
93%. When I got in,
The,
went straight down 93%.
the people that hold are the people that, went in this space. Of course, not financial advice. No financial advice, but
Well, yeah,
still.
we're not registered financial advisors, and when you get wrecked, we want you to feel personally responsible for it. So you don't sit outside our houses trying to be like, "Hey, can I spend the night?" No, you can't spend the night. I called the top of the day. You don't get to spend the night here.
I mean, that must be pretty like, you know, dope, I guess, to be able to like, yeah, I called
It's
this. Like you
sick.
called a lot of different
It's
things.
sick. I called the watch top too. I got nine
How did
million in
you
watches, and I'm like, this is the top.
how do you analyze markets? Like what like, I know
Technical and
Bitcoin
fundamental
like
both. I use both. So I'm an excellent technical analyst. I'm an excellent fundamental analyst, and I understand order books. I invented Hart's law, which explains why prices all move up and down together. When I first got into crypto, I didn't understand why. I was like, why is it that
Yeah.
Bitcoin makes all-time highs the same time alts make all-time highs? Bitcoin makes all-time lows, same time alts make all-time lows. Aren't they substitute products? Don't people have finite economic energy to stick into these things? Shouldn't they be winners and losers amongst these? Why are they so correlated? And I was like, maybe there's like a hedge fund that like weights them by market cap. And so, you know, entire sectors will move together maybe. But as I got, smarter, I discovered that it was because the prices of things that trade against each other are bonded by the liquidity in those pairs. I'll give you a great example. Probably the example that let me discover this idea.
Ooh.
Unisocks. The guys that invented Uniswap made a pair where you could pay X amount of Ethereum for a pair of socks from them. Just kind of acted like a
Oh,
shopping cart.
I saw that. Yes.
And then Ethereum went up a lot. And since they were interchangeable one to one, or not, since they were interchangeable, not one to one, but since they were interchangeable, because the value of the one thing on the one side of the pair went up so high, and since they're interchangeable, the value of the thing on the other side of the pair went up that high. And so you had like $20,000 pair of socks.
That's
And I was like,
crazy. That's actually insane.
huh, okay. I wonder if this works for everything. And then you're like, yeah, it does. So the reason that Ethereum goes up when Bitcoin goes up is because there's an order book where you can interchange them. And the reason Ethereum goes down when Bitcoin goes down is because there's an order book, and whereas you could have interchanged them for more, now you can only interchange them for less. And the tail can't wag the dog. Like the larger liquidity thing wins. And since Bitcoin's kind of the largest liquidity thing, Ethereum's price movements can't move it very much, but Bitcoin's price movements can move it. So Ethereum acts kind of like a leverage position on Bitcoin. Bitcoin bull run, Ethereum goes up more. And in the bear market, Ethereum's gone down more. So,
Yeah.
But like volatility is a price you pay for the world's best performing asset.
Yeah.
Dips are in the game.
I-
Amazon's down more than 50%, I think. And they're a great company. They're like
Absolutely.
one of the best companies in the world. So unless you care about like employee rights or whatever, which when I'm shopping on Amazon, to tell you the truth, I don't care about. I just want a good deal. Do you take all that money you saved on Amazon and just give it to a nice worker that when you see him, if you want to be socialist about it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if Amazon's going to drop 50%, so it's like, if Bitcoin's going to drop, Bitcoin has dropped from 69K to 17.6,
17, 18. Yeah.
17,580. And then, well, I'm looking at Bitstamp price. It's
Yeah.
different exchanges, but basically 17.6. So that's a
Yeah.
73% drop. And then Ethereum did like an 82% drop. And then Hex did like a 93% drop. Who gives a fuck? Like,
expectation of return.
coins move at exactly the same time. Sorry if you've already covered it. Yeah, it's called Hart's Law. I coined it. The prices of assets that trade versus each other move with each other because they're interchangeable and they're bonded by their liquidity. And so if you can exchange a Bitcoin for an Ethereum at a certain rate and Ethereum goes up in value, then Bitcoin has also gone up in value because they're interchangeable with each other. And if you're holding Ethereum and it's interchangeable with Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes up in value, then Ethereum also goes up in value because they're interchangeable with each other. And so those relationships can break when there's not enough liquidity to bond them compared to what the market force wants to do. And so the market can execute its will to shift the pairing, to shift the rate that the two things exchange at, but that takes active effort from the market. And so, like, for instance, if a big bid comes in and moves the price up, it eats all the sell orders. And then if the price goes back down, like by market orders, there's just a huge gap. And people have to manually refill in the sell orders that were washed away by the big wick. And that effort of needing to change the order book, it means that your default position is kind of the two things that are tied together tend to be tied together. They're tied together by their liquidity, and so their prices move together. So if for instance, if each pair of my underwear was worth $1 million, and then some guy came along and it was like, I think Richard's underwear are worth $1.1 million now. Am I making a bad analogy here? This is a terrible analogy. I'm going to give up on this one. So basically, it's just that the prices of things that trade versus each other mean that they both tend to go in the same direction because they're bonded by their liquidity.
So we have this issue where there is no canonical definition of what delegation, staking, liquidity, custodianship really means. So Avalanche and Polkadot and Tezos and Cardano and Ethereum and Algorand, and even these are all staking systems, they actually have very different modes of operation. Some are custodial and non-liquid, others are liquid and custodial, non-custodial. Some involve a bonding or slashing mechanism, other ones involve no bonding and slashing mechanism. And the problem is that in those nuances actually really do translate to regulatory overhead. So one of the first challenges from a regulatory perspective is if you have an asset and you have to transfer that asset to another party for them then to do something on your behalf to generate a return, in some jurisdictions and some interpretations, that actor doing that may be a regulated actor. Why? Because they have a custodial risk and potential information asymmetries, and also your returns are 100% based upon their efforts and their efforts alone. You're not in a common enterprise where you're working together. Rather, you have just lent or given with an